Here is a foolproof and effective way to establish your stance. Feet together, up onto the right heel, you're going to roll out at 90 degrees onto the ball of your foot and roll it out so that both toes are pointing forward, and just a small step out with the left foot. Establish your stance by transferring your weight left and right, and be sure that both toes are pointing forward, the right toes are behind the left heel, and feet are shoulder width apart. Here's a side view, up onto the hill, out at 90, onto the ball of your foot, both toes pointing forward, small step out with the left foot, transfer your weight and soften the knees to get a feel of your balance. Establish our stance, let's get moving. On the balls of your feet, you're going to lead with the left foot, following with the right, maintaining all those crucial aspects of our footwork that we established before. Feet shoulder width apart, toes pointing forward and right toes behind the left heels. Coming backwards, you now want to lead with the right foot and follow with the left, maintaining those major cues. When you're coming forward, leading with the left, following with the right, and so forth. Make sure your hips are square, that'll help keep those toes pointing forward, which will be handy when it comes to punching. Allow your movement to compromise the width of your feet, and do your best to keep your feet shoulder width apart. As you're moving, make sure that both feet are moving in line with the shoulders, the left foot in line with the left hip and shoulder, and the right foot in line with the right hip and shoulder. Keeping those hips pointing forward and not turning them side on will help this, and come in handy later on when it comes to throwing that big right hand. Exercise that embodies all the elements of what we've been taught so far. So we're going to form a square. We're going to go 2 steps to the right, 2 steps forward, across to the left and backwards. When we get back to our starting point, we're going to repeat in the opposite order, coming forward for 2 steps, across to the right for 2, backwards for 2, and across to the left. Repeat this for 2 minutes. It's an essential movement for swift changes in direction and creating angles. On the ball of your left foot, we're going to spin, whipping that right foot back or forth depending into the direction that you're travelling. Be sure to finish in your proper boxing stance, nice and balanced, ready to either launch forward or retreat back. At this point, the left foot is going to be your point of axis and the right foot would orbit. As we progress, we'll transition from pivoting from the left foot onto the right. Next up, we're going to focus on what's probably the most commonly used movement in the ring, rounded footwork. If boxers aren't distinctively moving back, forth, left, right or pivoting out of a tight spot, you'll often see them circling each other in anticipation of an exchange. I've found the best way to establish accuracy in your movement is to identify an object and orbit around it. Fixate on keeping your belly button facing the object at all times and be sure to maintain the distance between you and the object, not allowing it to drastically shorten or lengthen during the course of your movement. When moving to the right, be sure to lead with your right foot, and when moving to the left, leading with your left foot. Remember to keep those heels slightly off the ground and keep your movement all on the balls of your feet. A common mistake when circling the feet in this way is the crossing over of the feet. Be certain not to let the following foot come in too close to the leading foot, or even worse, do not let the feet intersect at any stage, as this can be risky business if you get caught with a big shot and tangled feet. Now that we've individually acquired and practiced all of the footwork essentials independently, it's time to bring it all together. Establish your stance and start moving around, incorporating all of the different elements we've focused on throughout the session. Try to diversify the directions travelled as much as possible without compromising your technical composure. It will certainly feel unnatural to keep the right foot pointing forward at first, but the benefits in the long run are abundant. Eventually you will move with that right foot slightly pointing out, but making the essential adjustment of turning that right foot in when throwing the cross is going to be natural and super effective. This can be a boring and somewhat restless start to your boxing journey, but I can assure you that with patience and practice, these principles and drills are going to give you a solid foundation to build a multi-dimensional, well-rounded boxer. Never underestimate the importance of your footwork. Practice it always and continue refining your ability to move around the ring.